A little while ago, a round of pirate-themed commanders were put in World of Warships Legends. One of them was a French destroyer commander named Robin Le Fierce, and his base trait increases the fire chance on the destroyer by 1.8%, at least at the level I've got him at currently. So I thought, what happens if you take Trubetskoy with his super fire skill and then put on Robin Le Fierce as one inspiration? Here's the build as we approach the Alpha Cap. Trubetskoy with Robin Le Fierce, Rumble, and of course the fire skill, whose name I can never remember. With that skill, and with Robin Le Fierce as one of the inspirations here, we have a 17.8% fire chance on the Khabarovsk, which has 8 guns that reload in about 4 seconds. That is the most absurd fire chance in the entire game. This is a build that should be illegal, and we are going to use it to cause pain and suffering to the enemy ships today. It's going to be a little bit slow developing, and there's going to be a ridiculous thing that happens sort of midway through the battle or near the end. So you'll probably want to see that. For now, we've got ourselves in the capture circle here. We've got the stern sort of pointed in the direction of the enemy, the bow pointed out, and HMS Defense decides he's going to swoop in and enter the capture circle. Sort of collides with us there, causes us to sort of scoot out of the cap, and the defense is smoked up. So we have no vision of anything. We're going to have to reverse past the defense, who looks like he's about to reverse and possibly collide with us again, but the Khabarovsk is fast, even in reverse, 16 knots. Extremely breakneck speed here. We are going to be able to exit the smoke screen and then hopefully acquire vision of something. There's Montana, and there's Brindisi over there in that corner. Just take note of that, Brindisi. He's going to become relevant later. You see, he's got his bow pushed up against the island there. Montana's peeking around the corner. Somebody's in the capture circle. It's the Khaba. We're going to switch fire to him. You can see already with only 11 shells landed. Well, 17 now. 2 fires, one on the Khaba, one on the Montana. Khaba looks like he might push in this way, so we'll send torpedoes at him. Take a blind shot. I don't think... Oh, it does hit. No fire, though. And, well, maybe Khaba is going to push in. Maybe he's going to retreat. Either way, I didn't want to pursue him because of that Brindisi over there in the corner. A lot of times you see these heavy Italian cruisers using HE, and if we got shot by Italian cruiser heavy HE, that wouldn't be ideal, but more and more often I see the Italian cruisers using the correct shell, the sap. And if Brindisi is a sap slinger, then we're dead if we get spotted and are able to be shot at by him. Khaba is still apparently in the cap. We're going to do some reversing. Somewhat concerned about the possibility that he might send torpedoes our way since we've got a battleship and the defense in front of our bow somewhere. Although Klaber's torpedoes, I think they've only got a 6-kilometer range, so it's probably not that big of a deal, and at this point, he has left the cap. I don't even know that he's the one spotting us anymore. That could just be because we shot our guns. Montana takes a shot at us over here, but we go dark, and that's fine. The goal here now is to take this capture circle. The enemy team has got a battleship and apparently a destroyer in the Delta Cap, so I'm assuming with that destroyer there, and possibly a cruiser too, they're probably going to secure it, and we need to secure this cap. By some miracle, there's about to be 10 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, and yet not a single ship on either team has sunk. Perhaps this is going to be a bit of a sweaty match. Well, maybe. This is World of Warships Legends. Things can go south pretty quickly if you're the blue team, and somebody's the blue team here. From the perspective of this GK, he's on the blue team. He's got no HP, and we've secured the capture circle. So if we get spotted now as we're doing some farming it doesn't matter. Nobody can reset us. So we'll open up fire on the GK. Looks like he might have slightly bigger problems to deal with, a wall of skill. But once again, the illegal fire chance on this Trubetskoy build coming in handy. That's a fourth fire. We've shot 48 shells. That's almost an average of 1 fire per 10 shells. It's basically guaranteed at this point. See, there's another one. And that's what makes it so illegal. Or what should make it so illegal. This build has got to be banned. Anyway, fire burning on GK, is it enough to secure our first kill? It looks like it might be. Yes, there goes the GK to the fires set by the Khabarovsk. And we've got an almost pristine and full health Montana over here for us to torture with this fire chance. So we're going to do that. The visuals that we get are going to be a little bit screwed up with this fancy Halloween camo that the Montana is wearing. Sometimes when they're wearing those camos and the fires look different, it's kind of hard to see where you've got the fire even lit on the ship. The idea here is to light the fires on different parts of the ship, the bow, the stern, the superstructure. Of course, we need to have vision of the Montana in order to be able to aim that precisely, but that's the goal. And it looks like Montana has actually DCP'd the fire we lit, which is great. That means his DCP is going to be on cooldown, so everything we get next is going to be a permafire. The only real concern is, will this Montana be running the fight fire with fire skill? And if we light 3 with his DCP on cooldown, do they all just instantly get put out? Or is the Montana still thinking that it's 3 years ago and he's running Will to Rebuild? Hopefully the latter. Aiming at the bow superstructure now to see if we can't get some fire. Of course, with this build, we don't get the maximum range on the main battery guns that I get using my normal Rumble build. With that, I think we can get these guns ranging out to 15.4 kilometers. But with Trubetskoy's super Zippo lighter fire skill, again, I cannot remember the name of this skill ever. I look at it every time, and as soon as I sit down to record something, I forget. Anyway, with Rumble, we can get 15.4 kilometer range. With Trubetskoy, the fire skill also increases the range, and we can get up to 14.8 kilometers, which is perfectly fine. In order to get Khabarovsk to 14.8 kilometers on PC, by the way, you need to buy the legendary mod. Our Khabarovsk is superior to what you find on PC. By the way, we got the Witherer there with only 9 fires lit. 138 shell hits, 9 fires. The fire chance here is just absurd. And this game has turned into a little bit of a blowout. Note how the Brindisi is still sitting in the exact same place where he was initially spotted. That's because he's AFK. I didn't realize it until this point, but I figured if this guy hasn't moved even an inch since the game started a few minutes ago, he must not be at the helm of the ship. So if we come around this island, the only thing that's going to be shooting at us is the Montana, who is busy shooting at other people on our team. The Brindisi is going to be no threat at all, although we are close enough to him that his secondaries are probably going to shoot at us. Still, that's not going to be anywhere near the threat of his main guns. So we'll take a shot at the Montana, light another fire, and then launch the torpedoes at the Brindisi. It's not a fully optimized launch, of course. A lot of those torpedoes are going to miss, but the ones that hit should be enough to take out the Brindisi. And even though he's AFK, he is perhaps offering us a chance to set up the double strike. The Montana's on very low HP. Problem is, I don't think we're going to be able to reduce that much HP in time for the torps to hit. But if we get a teammate for some assistance, there's 1 kill, there's 2. Double strike. Doesn't really count, though, because the Brindisi was AFK. Well, also a devastating strike, too. We can't really in good conscience count that, though. The Brindisi was just a free target. Any case, the game is wrapping up here. There's only 3 enemy ships left alive, and we've got 3 kills. So theoretically, we can go Kraken hunting. 2 destroyers, 1 cruiser. It's possible. One of the destroyers, though, is over by the Delta Cap. Actually, both of them are. So we're going to have to continue sailing that way. It's not going to be too long before they actually get into our main battery gun range of 14.8 kilometers. So maybe we'll be able to do it. Or hopefully the cruiser's on low HP and we can just do some kill securing. Certainly both of the DDs are on low HP. And it would be a kill secure on our part if we're able to take one down. They will be within our gun range soon. We've got the Kagro, or I think that was a Kagro, the friendly destroyer moving into the last cap. No, it was a Shimakaze. This is legendary tier. What am I saying? Defense is on full HP. We'll see if we can get any fires on that particular cruiser. We need a higher fire total than this. I told you this build should be illegal, and you may be looking at this and saying to yourself, only 11 fires. Well, 11 fires, a Witherer medal, and only 172 shell hits. This is a good fire chance. There's a double fire on the defense, by the way. That's something that happens a lot with this build, too. I think that may be the only example of it we're going to see in this match. But if you run this build, and I did run it, for a few matches before I got this one, I thought this was the most entertaining of the results I got, and that's why I'm showing it to you. But you can expect double fires from time to time when you hit a single salvo on a ship. This build is just absurd. Now, to be fair, it does cut down quite a bit on the Khabarovsk's HE Alpha. The HE Alpha on this ship at base is pretty good. I think it's about 1900. It's not quite as crazy as the French destroyer HE Alpha, which I believe is the best in the game and feels really bad. Well, it might be the best next to, actually, IJN destroyer Alpha, but those guns reload much more slowly. Khabarovsk is right up there, but if you use this fire skill, it does cut down the HE Alpha to, I think, around 1300 or so, which is just about one of the lowest HE Alphas in the game. It rivals something like the Lucian, for example, which has tiny little guns, and the HE Alpha is somewhat anemic. You want to be using AP a lot on that ship. So against enemy destroyers like this, we're not going to get as much of a knockout punch as we normally would. In fact, the game ends before we can secure another kill at all. So we end with 3 kills using the Trubetskoy build, 165,000 damage, somewhat inflated by the dev strike against the AFK cruiser, and pretty much every medal you could ask for, aside from, Confederate and Kraken Unleashed. Anyway, hope you found the game entertaining. If so, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.